that homeschooling high school can seem pretty scary. And I find that parents tend to get really, really overwhelmed with everything that's involved with homeschooling. And so I find that it helps if we can just take a step back and think about what is your actual goal. And if we could break it down to just one goal per year of high school, then parents get less freaked out and feel more like, well, I can do that, right? It's that step by step, one step at a time, one foot in front of another. That sort of thought can really help you to be calm as you look towards homeschooling high school. So, whether you have never homeschooled before or you're a veteran and it's your first time homeschooling high school, let me give you those 4 steps, that one goal per year. Okay. For ninth grade, which is also freshman year, people sometimes get confused about the words versus the grade level. So I'll tell you each time. Ninth grade is freshman year. And your one goal for that year is to just think about college. You're not making any decisions. You're not saying all yes. You're not saying all no. You're just kind of thinking about it. So as you're thinking about it, you're aware that by even considering the possibility of college, you are then providing for maximum flexibility. It is amazing how much kids change from ninth grade through 12th grade. And in fact, I encourage you to think back to when you had a newborn and then think how different your newborn was from a 4-year-old. And that's the huge amount of change that you're going to be facing over the next 4 years of high school. So you really don't know for certain whether your child is going to just go to college because you say so or demand to go to college even though you didn't want them to. You don't necessarily know what's going to happen, especially when they become adults and they're making decisions for their own. But the thing you do have control over is making sure you have maximum flexibility so that no matter which route they choose, you're ready to go. So I encourage people to just start ninth grade just thinking about the possibility of college. And usually that boils down to choosing classes, making sure you're keeping kids challenged, not overwhelmed, certainly. College prep does not mean calculus or physics or Latin. College prep just means you're keeping them challenged and you're covering the core classes. That's what it means. Okay, the second stage is sophomore year. And the goal for sophomore year, which is 10th grade, right? Sophomore year, 10th grade. Your only goal is to prepare for college. The reason for that is if they ultimately go, there are some very easy things that are not going to hurt anybody, will make them smarter kids in the long run, that are going to make it possible for them to go. So by preparing for college, really that means 2 things. Number one is that they take the PSAT test in 10th grade. That way you kind of have an understanding of how high they're going to score on tests. It can be pretty shocking to parents, especially if you've been homeschooling all along. It's like, wow, I had no idea they were capable of that. Or, it can be pretty surprising one way or the other. So you take the PSAT so that you can start that guidance counselor part of guiding them to college. Now, the second way that you want to prepare for college is by considering foreign language. Hopefully you started foreign language in ninth grade or earlier because that can go on your high school transcript. But if you haven't, you definitely want to start a foreign language by 10th grade. Most colleges require 2 years or 3 years. Some even require 4 years of foreign language. And by starting foreign language by the start of 10th grade, at least you'll be ready for anything and can find a college that's a good fit. Okay, so the third year and the third goal is 11th grade, which is called junior year. And your goal for junior year is to find a college. Now, I guess you could say your goal is to find a college or a career, but it's kind of too early for them to be finding a career. But you kind of have to find a college during 11th grade in order for the process to work out. So by finding this college, then you're again allowing for that maximum flexibility. It doesn't mean they have to choose any of it, any of the colleges that you've decided upon. It just means that you're finding some that you want to apply to. So that is the focal point of junior year. And it comes with a sort of step-by-step approach within junior year. So at the beginning of junior year, you're thinking about college fairs. There are virtual college fairs if you're not able to attend in person. And then you do your research over the winter. You're getting into the details of the statistics about each college so that you know, okay, with my child's SAT, PSAT test score, and my child's colleges that they're looking at, is that going to be a good fit college? Okay. And then by the end of 11th grade, that's when you want to take the SAT or ACT so that they have those qualifying tests done before they start applying. And what's really interesting is that as colleges are becoming more test optional or even test blind, it's still really important to provide test scores when your child is in 11th grade. Because while they may not require tests to get in, if you want to have guaranteed admission, maybe you have a direct transfer agreement. They did some community college, they got an AA, dual enrollment, transfer into the college. You're going to have your SATs or ACT score for that. Or let's say you cannot afford to pay full price on college. I know, sounds crazy, right? If you can't afford to pay full price for college, then you're going to need to provide test scores in order to get scholarships. So even when a college is test blind, which means you're not supposed to submit test scores to the college, you can still put their test scores on their homeschool transcript. So at least the college knows that your child is well qualified. Anyway, the goal for junior year is to find a college. And by the end of junior year, you are hoping that you've chosen between 4 and 8 colleges where it's appropriate for your child to apply for college. Those 4 to 8 colleges should be a mix of reach, fit, safety schools, public schools, which may be cheaper, private schools, which might offer better scholarships and be the same price ultimately. So you're trying to have a good variety of colleges, all chosen by the end of 11th grade. Let me explain why. It comes down to your 4th goal for the 4th year of high school. So the 4th year is senior year. That's 12th grade. Okay. And the goal for 12th grade is to apply for college or career. Okay. Now, if you're applying for college, the applications start in the fall of 12th grade. You're basically applying for college a whole year before you want to apply. And so you have to submit college applications September, October area, sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later. And then after you hear back and you find out whether it's affordable, can you graduate without debt? Does it fit your goals? Then you can apply for a job if none of those are true, if you want to move on and do something else instead. By applying to college, your student will learn great skills in having interviews, filling out forms and applications, becoming more self-aware as they go through that essay process. So all of the things that you do to apply for college, that is not wasted energy. That helps them to be able to apply for a job later on. So you're trying to beat each deadline for college applications by at least 1 month. And some deadlines can be as early as July, August in some colleges and some situations. So you can see why finding a college during junior year and choosing those 4 to 8 colleges junior year is really important, because That's when you need to figure out when the deadline is so you can meet all those deadlines for senior year. So applying for college takes place during senior year. And then at the end of senior year, you're going to be thinking about what is the best choice for your child, knowing that many times a student at the end of senior year is 18 years old and is making decisions for themselves. So you have surprisingly little control over that. And so you're going to be focusing on letting go and hoping that all of these skills and information and values that you've instilled in your child will take root as they fly and leave the nest. So just again, remember that while we have these 4 years and 4 goals, if it feels overwhelming, remember there's going to be dramatic changes that occur over those 4 years, just like the newborn to 4-year-old stage, right? So your job is to expect those changes. Just focus on that one goal that you have for this 1 year. And that's what's going to make you successful. What's not going to make you successful is freaking out, thinking about what's going to happen in 12th grade and decide that you cannot possibly cope with applying to college right now, even though your child is, I don't know, in 8th grade and you just can't think that far ahead. That's true of childbirth too, as when you're pregnant with a child, you can't even possibly think about what childbirth is going to be like. And I encourage you to think about it that way when you're thinking about the 4 years of high school, and really just take it one step at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed. All right, I hope that helps. Remember, step by step, you don't have to eat the whole elephant all in one bite. Okay, have a great day.